Same fit, same face, a different topic. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Not So Clueless podcast. And let me have a sip of water. Hold on. Guys, I've been yapping for a good hour and a bit. Gosh. I love talking, but bloody hell. Anyways, yeah, if you guys are watching on YouTube, this is the same day, same fit. I'm sorry, I'm not changing my clothes. Like, some of my friends were like, yeah, bring spare clothes, change into a new fit for a new episode. And it's just like, why though? Who am I making for? This is the Not So Clueless podcast, real raw shit. And I'm just not changing, basically. I'm just not. And I know you guys don't mind. You're still going to watch. So it's like, who is this for? Do you know what I mean? Anyways, welcome back to the podcast. This is brought to you by yours truly, Ray. On this episode, I wanted to talk about perfectionism. This is something I really struggle with, and it doesn't look like I struggle with it because, you know how I was banging on in the first episode about oh, do what you can now and just start and make it perfect along the way. That whole process was really uncomfortable for me. The fact that I didn't have a podcast trailer, or I didn't have a polished thumbnail, or I didn't have a set plan on what I was going to say, that was really uncomfortable for me. And I guess I was preaching, and I will continue to preach from a place of talking to myself as well. And that's the point of the podcast, and just talking things out and helping others in the process. But yeah, perfectionism is something I struggle with, guys. I have a very big imagination and very vivid imagination. I can imagine exactly what I want, and I can imagine exactly what I want things to look like, which is great when it comes to, when you're actually doing the process. But it's a bitch when you need to move forward and you just can't until that one thing is tweaked and it matches kind of what you've imagined. But the problem with trying to be perfect is you take one of two routes. You either don't do anything, and this was me. Every idea in my notes page, in my notes app, or in a notebook somewhere, or in my journal entries, or said to my friends, one thing about me, I loved to say an idea to my friends. Oh, I would love to do this. Oh, this is what I want to do. Or this is my idea. Dopamine wears off, and then, bitch, where is it? What happened to that thing that you were talking about? And what tends to happen is you don't actually start or do anything. So you, like I was saying in my last episode about identity, you end up in a place where you can't even identify as those things because you literally haven't done anything. And that's where I was. Cool, I'm getting over that hurdle, whatever. But now the other side of perfectionism is you end up trying to do everything all at once, all the time. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm actually struggling. Genuinely, I really struggle with being human. Obviously I'm human, but I struggle to just accept that sometimes shit just isn't gonna look perfect. And what even is perfect? And why do you think that is perfect? Where have you seen that? And who has told you this is perfect? These are things that is so important to ask yourself, because guys, why am I trying to be 100% with my fitness and my diet, but also my creative pursuits and my passions, but also my job and my relationships with my family and friends, but then also my relationship with God and how strong I am in that? That's probably the most important thing, by the way. I remember one time I was really frustrated. I was like, God, I can't focus because I have ADHD. And I just heard a voice. I'm guessing it's the Holy Spirit. I always say I'm guessing it's the Holy Spirit. Who else would it be? But anyways, I heard a voice that was the only thing you need to focus on is God. That's literally it. And everything else will fall into place. And I was like, oh, you kind of ate that. I feel like that voice always eats. But it's true. If your focus is scattered, just focus on God only. And you'll find in the things that you read in the Bible and in the feelings you have after prayer, the peace you have after prayer, and just this, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna start crying because there's just this peace that I can't explain that I have, even in the chaos, even in feeling shit, like I don't know what I'm doing, or like I'm not doing well enough, there's still like this underlying piece that just doesn't go away for me. That is like everything is gonna be okay because you're God's child. Like everything is always going to be okay. And no matter how it looks at any point in time, you are okay. And I pray for people to find that peace, you know. I'm getting emotional. I don't know why I'm tearing up. I pray for people to experience that peace and to know God. Like I feel like it's just such a beautiful thing. I can't put it into words. It's just like I guess it's something I'm feeling. That's why I'm like tearing up and stuff. But yeah, I just have like a crazy amount of peace. I just feel like even in everything that I'm struggling with, even currently, like I'm going to be okay. And I guess it's like tears of joy in knowing that like I don't even know how this is gonna play out, but I know I'm gonna be great, and I know that everything I'm currently doing is for a purpose. Like there's a reason why I'm here. And I get so emotional because there was a time I didn't want to be here. Not to go dark on you lot, but that's really how it was. I didn't want to be here. I didn't really see the purpose of why I was here. I didn't really understand. Um, I'm crying, guys. What the hell? If you're listening on Spotify, guys, I'm literally crying. Let me take a moment. I'm gonna take a moment and come back. I tried to like calm myself down, but I just feel so happy. So I'm expressing myself through tears. I'm a crier. I'm a crybaby. Like my friends and family know. Like if I've ever cried in front of you, it's because I feel comfortable in that environment. If you ever see me cry, um, yeah, my family and friends know I'm a crybaby. Whatever, get over it. Let me calm down. Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, I feel like where did that thought even connect to? Hold on, my nose is itchy running. Yeah, I think because I'm like so imaginative and I care deeply about certain things and I know where I want to go. I know that I'm going to be successful, so it makes me emotional because I can, like I said to you guys, I have a very vivid imagination. So when I imagine the things that I want, I literally feel it, which is why I was crying. And also like what I was saying about that peace that I feel is like genuine. But where was I going with that thought? Yeah, so like I've been struggling with like trying to be perfect, like doing everything. And like it's hard like finding that balance between being a perfectionist and trying to do 100 gazillion things, but then also not being complacent and like like still going after what you want. Like how do you girl boss but in a sensible way? If that makes sense. Like how do you girl boss without losing your mind, without beating yourself up for falling short at times? But yeah, that's the other side of trying to be perfect. That's where I am right now. I've got a meal plan and a gym plan and a content plan and a work plan, and I'm trying to have a social life. God, don't ask me about dating, but yeah, it's just like, girl, don't forget to live. And I think that's the thing about remembering the journey and remembering that the goal isn't the goal, if that makes sense. Like think about those things that you want, yes. Strive towards it, yes. But the goal actually isn't the goal. The goal is the journey on your way to those things. And that's why people achieve things, and when they achieve it, they feel empty because they're like, okay, I'm here, what now? But if you had the goal as to have like an amazing journey, then you would have already fulfilled the goal on the way. And when you get it, it's just so much more fulfilling because you know the journey you've been on and you enjoyed not every moment of it, but like you enjoyed the highs and lows of it. So what I'm trying to teach myself is that, and teaching myself that like you don't have to be 100% all the time. You can 100% strive towards it. Like love that for you. Like love that about me, that I'm ambitious, but that doesn't have to be your entire identity to be perfect or like. And that's the thing. I'm not trying to necessarily be perfect. Like I wouldn't identify it as that. But that's what it is, though. When you try to do everything all the time, all at once, that's you trying to be perfect. And it's like, it's a difficult one because it's like, yes, I want to rest and I want to be present and I want to feel the experience, but also, how the hell are we gonna make 1 million by tomorrow? Like, how are we gonna make that money by tomorrow? Like, that's really what's on my mind. Money's on my mind a lot, but not in a like. I think God, because before I felt like I was more so chasing money. Was I chasing money? Yeah, because I was broke, so I was chasing money, but now I'm chasing purpose. And sorry, I decided to put on my bunny ears hood. How cute is this though? Now I'm chasing purpose. Like, I want to make money from the things that I'm passionate about. Like, how cool would that be? That's what I'm chasing now. And I think I'm doing well in that sense of like, I am really enjoying the experience. Like, even this podcast and like making these episodes makes me so happy. And before sorry guys, I'm gonna try not to cry again. Like, it's okay, girl. It's okay. But before I started this pod, obviously I've had many ideas before, and like some come to life, some don't. And one thing I asked myself before I started the pod, I was like, one way to know, do I really want this, is like, if you were to die right now, this is really morbid, but guys, hear me out. If you were to die right now, would you be happy knowing that you started this thing? Or would you think that I wish I was doing something else? And my legit answer to myself was, if I died right now, I would be so happy in knowing that I started this thing and I at least attempted to help others with the things that I used to struggle with or currently struggle with. I would be so happy that I attempted to create a safe space for others. I would be happy that I used my platform for good to connect with others. I would be happy that I had a mission, sort of purpose with helping people that have been through depression and those sort of things that I've also been through. I would die smiling, knowing that I've attempted this thing. And then that was confirmation for me. I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. Like, I have to do it, and I have to do it now, because this is something that would make me so happy. And I started it. And I'm so happy, guys. Like, even as I'm sitting here yapping, I really, really enjoy this. And let me try not to cry. I need to calm down. I'm just really happy. I don't know. I'm not even on my period or anything. This is like genuine. This isn't even unnecessary sensitivity. I'm genuinely like so happy and grateful. I'm grateful to even have the resources to start what I want to start. I remember my friend asked me, like, because I asked him, like, if you had 10K right now, what would you do with it in terms of like your creative pursuits? Like, you have to spend the 10K on your creative stuff. So he flipped the question back to me and he asked me, and I literally said, everything that I want to do right now creatively, I have the resources to do. I have everything I need to move forward in my creative pursuits. And how often do you get to say that like, I have everything I need? Like, I think sometimes I deep the privilege that we have. The fact that you even have a phone, access to the internet, is like crazy, crazy privilege. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, some people don't have access to information like that. They don't even have internet. They don't have internet. They don't have the local library. Like, they just don't have access to that. And for me, that's such a privilege to be able to not know something and Google it and find it out. And not only that, but for example, my job, like, to have the money to book these studio sessions and whatever, to the fact that I have the Osmo Pocket that I bought around my birthday. I originally bought it to like document my life, and like when I was coming out of that pain, I thought, now I want to really capture and document the season of my life where I'm living and not surviving, and that's why I got it. But I already had it, so it's like I could use it for my creative pursuits, and like, everything I want, I have everything that I need to make it come true. And so my answer to the 10K question was basically savings and investments. I would act like it's not there, because 10K isn't like a huge amount. It's not life-changing money to me. So it would probably go in savings and investments or whatever, and I would continue to aggressively pursue the creative things I want. That, or if I found that my job was making me miserable, I'll just quit and like live off the 10K for a bit while I'm aggressively chasing what I want to chase with my creative pursuits. But basically, where am I going with this? How did we get there? We're speaking about perfectionism. Um, yeah, like I deeply identify with like those moments where your health, your body is saying like, girl, rest, like you need to chill out. But I'm just like, not now, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna make this money by tomorrow? I feel so passionate about achieving certain things that it's like, girl, shut up. But no, like, no, because your body actually tells you exactly what you need at any given moment. It's just about knowing what the signs are. For a long time, I didn't know what the feeling of being dehydrated was. Like, it sounds weird. Like, obviously, you're thinking, oh, like, God, didn't you have like a dry mouth or something? Not even that, but like the headaches, the dizziness, the like not being able to put two brain cells together to develop the bare minimum in work. I didn't see those as like symptoms of like your dehydrated love because I was so used to it. Like I was so dehydrated and I just didn't know. My body just wasn't absorbing the water I was drinking and I wasn't drinking enough water. So like yeah, like guys, get to know your body. Like get to know when your body's saying, okay, like I need social rest right now. Like I need to not be around people right now. Get to know when your body is saying I need creative rest and I need to do something like artsy and something that will help me get into my childhood energy. Know when to have physical rest and know that your body is genuinely tired and it's time to go to bed. It's time to sleep. I think there's even 7 types of rest. You guys should do research on that. I won't go into that now because I want to stay on course. But yeah, there's 7 types of rest, guys. Learn what your body says about each type of rest and how you can help yourself during the times that where you need rest. And I had to learn that rest is actually part of the process. It's part of not only the creative process, but it's also part of just the peaks and troughs of life, like the flow of life. It's necessary for your growth. You can't just strive 100% all the time and expect results. At some point, you will burn out, and all those hours, because they rack up, all those hours that you were supposed to be resting, whatever rest that was, it's gonna catch up, and you're gonna have months and months, and maybe even years of burnout of that lost time. It's no good succeeding if you can't enjoy the benefits of your success. Like, what's the point of me having everything I want and I'm too sick to enjoy it, or I have one brain cell left, like I have no critical thinking skills anymore, or I just haven't painted in a long time. Guys, I love painting. I love doing anything with my hands, anything creative with my hands. I'm there. I'm surprised I haven't done pottery, to be honest. That's something I really want to do. But yeah, guys, my point is, what's my point? Hold on. Prioritize rest. Rest is so important. It is part of the process. Don't see rest as reward for one, and don't see rest as something that's distracting you from your path. Rest is part of the path, okay? And rest isn't to be rewarded, it's necessary for the journey. It's literally necessary, like you literally need rest. And perfectionism is a bitch because perfectionism is what has a lot of people waking up when they're 40 years old and having a midlife crisis and like, what have I done in life? And that's my worst fear, guys. Like, I know people, you know, when people ask, like, what's your worst fear? Like, your worst fear. That's my worst fear. My worst fear is waking up at 50, 60 years old. Maybe I have a family, maybe I don't. God willing, I'll have a family by then. But my point is waking up at some age and be like, what have I done that was actually for me in my life? Like, I know that's so deep, but it's so real. The only thing guaranteed is that we're going to die. And if I'm going to die, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not going to waste my life doing the things that I think I should be doing or things that other people are telling me is important. I ought to go and find what is important to me and do that and do it aggressively for as long as possible. before I die. We don't know when we're going. Like, we all hope and pray to live long, but not all of us do. And so I would like to live every second I have doing exactly what I love. I love yapping. I'm joking. I love this podcast. I love like doing this. But if I was too set on, guys, I need to have a trailer for the podcast and I need to have guests on and I need to have, like the big fuck off mic that podcasters have. Like, I don't have that mic. I have this mic. It's on my claw clip today. But if I was so set on that, then guess what? That this podcast would never see the light of day. And I would wake up when I'm maybe 30 and was like, I should have started that podcast 6 years ago. And who knows where my podcast would be today at 30 years old if I had just started when I felt like it was time. So, what's your worst fear, guys? Like, what do you fear getting old and not doing what you love? Are you complacent where you are? Do you fear getting to an age and realizing, wow, like I stayed in the same place, not because I genuinely wanted that for myself, because at the same time, I think it's more than okay to want to be where you are, especially like, let's say like a 9 to 5, like, girl, if that's what you want, that's what you want. It's not harming your growth. Like, you genuinely enjoy being there. You like something that is familiar and stable and it gives you peace, then go chase that. Like, stick with that. This isn't to say, guys, you need to strive for more. This is to say you need to strive for what you want. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. At the same time, if you feel like you're in a job because you're scared of, like, and mind you, fear is not of God, but let's say you're scared to be in a new role, you're scared to manage a team, you're scared to meet new people, that sort of thing, then girl, you need to, sorry to burst your bubble, but you're going to wake up at some age and you're going to regret it. You will. It might not be in 5 years or 10 years, but eventually the day will come. And the later it comes, the more horrible it is. Imagine waking up at 70 even, or being that old crippled lady that's like saying to the youths, live your life. And not from a place of like, I lived my life and I want you to experience it to the fullest, but from a place of, I didn't live my life and I regret everything. My biggest fear is regret. I don't regret anything in my life at this point. So imagine me waking up in like double my age and being like, I truly regret not doing this, or I regret doing this. No, that's why it's important to find what you want. Find what you truly want, guys, and run with it. Even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. And also, perfect is boring. Perfect is really fucking boring. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't give pizzazz to the story. It has no character. Like, you have not much character, not much of a... We love a story. Do you know what I mean? Like, even in marketing and branding, like, we love storytelling. We love when the founder has a story behind the founding of the company. Like, we love when people are able to share their experiences and be vulnerable and connect. Oh god, I'm shaking my camera, hold on, my bad. But yeah, perfect is boring. No one wants to hear a linear story. No one fucking cares if you grew up rich and your only issue was nothing, and you had all the money and resources, and like your story was perfect. Every time I go through something, I'm just like, guys, this is part of the story. It's added to the character of the story. Like, it's the plot. It's the plot in the story. Guys, I keep shaking the camera. Can I just relax? Anyways, I always say, like, this is part of the story. Like, this is what's shaping my book. This is what is shaping my guest appearances forever I end up. Guys, perfect is boring. No one wants to be perfect all the time. And it's just, like, not relatable. Like, I don't know. And not to say you should lower yourself to be relatable. I don't believe in that either. I think that's something I'm working on as well, Like, I'm definitely working on trying to identify as less than I truly think I am, to like seem relatable to my environment. It's something that I struggled with from early because I used to get told I'm really like whitewashed or posh or like from different areas of my life. So basically, I I was born in Southeast, but I grew up in East, borderline Essex. But I also went to church in Southeast. So my friends from church were in Southeast. They still are. That's still where I reside. But then I live in borderline Essex. So I was Monday to Friday in Essex, and then Sunday I was in Southeast. So some of my Southeast people were like thinking like I'm posh and stuff. I say some, it's literally one person that used to tell me like, oh, I'm so posh, I'm so this. Now I know it was just projection, but at the time I was a child. So, oh, my belly. Did you guys hear that? So I used to get told I was posh, and then on the other side of things, in my school in Essex, there was black people there, not that many, but they thought I was whitewashed because like when I was in like year 7, I had like all white friends because my whole form was white. There was only like one black guy, and he was like whitewashed. So like there was no like black connections in my form, and at the time your form was your class for every subject until they like rearranged it to tiers. So it was like set A, set B, whatever. Um, I was in set A, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I take pride in that because yeah, sorry, I was a smart cookie. But actually, what's crazy is that now I'm thinking of perfectionism. I'm thinking of that time as well. I was still a perfectionist because at the time, even though I was in set A, I thought I just about made it into set A. Like I could never give myself that credit of like you earned set A, which is crazy. Like I was just a child. It's like go be gentle, but then it's like if no one's speaking life into you, then what do you expect? Anyways, going back to what I was saying, yeah. So like in school, I had people telling me I was different things. Like yeah, so in school basically they said like I was like whitewashed or like they called me an Oreo or like whatever. Whatever they said. So I don't know where I was going with that thought. I need to watch my footage back. Yeah, so I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about lowering yourself to be relatable. So the reason why I used to do that was because of the labels I was given. So I felt like I had to identify with the people in that space to be able to better fit in and mask whatever. I carried that throughout life. So all of a sudden, where I was very much qualified, I was identifying as, you guys should watch my last podcast episode, by the way, about identity. But I was identifying as someone who, like was less than I was. Not to say that those people were less than, but in that particular area, did know less than me or they were doing less than me. But because I wanted to fit in, I was like trying to blend in. Anyways, yeah, so on the flip side, I don't believe that you should, you know, water yourself down to fit in and, fit into a space. But also, no one likes someone who's perfect all the time because it's just not realistic. And like, we want to hear what you personally have struggled with. We don't want to hear about these things that you're saying you struggled with to relate to others. We want to hear what you've genuinely struggled with. And if you're a rich kid and you've never struggled with money, we want to hear how you struggled with your mindset. Like people want a story, and I think people want relatability, authenticity. Perfect is very much boring. And the funny thing about dismantling perfectionism is connection and growth actually happens when you show up imperfectly and in those vulnerable moments. Like before, when I would present as quite put together, like to my friends, like I didn't feel like I had that space to confide in my friends and stuff like that. So you would only see me basically when I was good, which created this perception that everything was always going well for me when it was far from that. But when I like over the time learned to confide in my friends and like, lean on them truly, it's just made the connection stronger because it's allowed them to see me in a vulnerable state. It's allowed us to connect on a certain level. And sometimes what I'm going through is what they're going through or something they've been through. And so we're able to relate on that level and see each other on a level that's deeper than surface. Guys, I just did the nastiest burp. I'm gonna cut that out. Damn. And then when you look at perfectionism and, the person that doesn't start because they want it to be perfect versus the avid doer who fails quite often, who do you think is going to get further realistically? Yes, the perfectionist has a perfect idea of what things are meant to look like. They have a great vision, they might have a vivid imagination, they have a clear strategy of exactly how to get to where they want to go, but they're not acting. Versus the avid doer who doesn't have a fucking clue what they're doing, but continues to go in some direction in the hopes that it will nudge them in the correct direction. And they're going at it and going at it and going at it. But that action is creating momentum, it's creating visibility, it's creating connections, it's creating growth. Who do you think is going to succeed? Obviously, the avid doer. The perfectionist will always lose because you're striving towards something that doesn't exist. Literally. Even on TikTok and all these Instagram reels, and you see these people and they're in the gym on the treadmill. Yeah, some of them, of course, some of them are going to the gym consistently. They haven't missed a beat. But also, they're not always showing those hard days. They're not consistently going to the gym in an upbeat vibe. Like, they're not going there like, yes, it's a great new day. What will I encounter today? Like, some days they're going there in tatters, but they're still showing up. So it's not to say consistency doesn't exist, because that's not true. I'm not going to say that to make you feel better. But what I will say is that days happen. Everyone has bad days. They just do. Even if it's a moment of doubt and they correct it and they're reprogramming their brain, our default, I believe, I just don't think our default is unfortunately happiness. Like, unfortunately, I don't think our default is happiness. I think our default is like quite dark, and it's up to you to actively make the decision to be happy. I feel like happiness is genuinely a decision. If you just let life happen, most of the time you'll end up miserable. I don't really know why it's like that, and that's something that I'm curious about, and I'm asking God as well, like, why is our default like sadness? Like, why can't I just exist naked on a beach and just live? I mean, you can. Thailand is there. Anyways, my point is the avid doer will win. So do the thing. Don't focus too much on being perfect. Focus on taking it step by step. Focus on compounding on your habits, and read Atomic Habits. That's a good book. I haven't finished it. I never finish books. Like ADHD, I get distracted and then like I get another hyper focus and then I'm focused on another book. Whatever. I still read a good amount of it and I know it's good. But yeah, my point is like start with one thing. And I'm speaking to myself here as well. I don't have this figured out. That's why it's the real life lessons I'm learning currently throughout my 20s. Yeah, I don't have this figured out. So like I am someone who tries to do the gym, they try to do the relationship, they try to do work, they try to do journey with God, diet, gym, everything all at the same time. I'm still that person, so I'm trying. But message to me and you, start with one thing, build on that, make that a habit, make that something that's second nature. If you have ADHD, habit stack, something that you already do, attach that to something else. So for example, let's say you get in from work and you put something in the fridge, let's say like a bottle of water, I don't know, while you're in the kitchen, just cook there and then. Don't even take off your work clothes, like just cook. So habit stacking is like stacking a new habit on top of one that you already have. And then basically the idea is that when you do the thing that comes naturally to you, you'll naturally do the next thing. It's quite effective for a little bit. It was effective for me at some point. I feel like things work for me for a bit and then after a while I'm just like, I'm tired of this. I need novelty, which is just a tricky thing with ADHD, like always keeping things interesting. And the worst thing you can be as a woman with ADHD is bored. I will elaborate on that in another episode. We definitely need to do an episode on ADHD, but just don't be bored, please, girl. go do something. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on perfectionism. I think that it's natural to want perfectionism in this day and age where we see so much, like we have too much access to other people's life. Like, why do I know what Van Vicker is doing on a Thursday afternoon? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's too parasocial. It's too, like, you see other people's life and you're like, if they're living that life, I should be. Why am I not there? And it's not even from, sometimes it's not even from like an inspiration, like, wow, they can live that life, but more so like, wow, I'm not doing enough. And that's not how it should be. I feel like we should have never had this much access to everyone's life. It's doing so much damage. But also, flip it on the other side, change your perspective. Look how much opportunity there is and possibilities for you. You now know what's possible, go after it. But yeah, like I understand completely. It's so easy to compare yourself to others as well, because that's essentially what perfectionism is. Even the idea of what's perfect in your head, you got it from somewhere. And so it might not be a specific person that you think is perfect and you're striving towards, but you might have created your own ideal perfect based on everything that you've seen and all the content that you consume. And yeah, so easy to fall into that trap of like literally just striving for something that is not realistic. Like, sometimes cry, sometimes be messy, sometimes there's boogers in your nose, sometimes your mascara is running, sometimes you're on the floor wondering what is life. Sometimes you live, love, laugh. Sometimes you enjoy life and you enjoy the waves and you connect with people and you grow. Sometimes you end up hating people. Sometimes you love people. And did you guys hear my belly again? Bro. Anyways, the point is, ride the wave. Let life flow. Control what you can control and the rest leave to God. You're not that guy. In terms of like your story, you're not that guy. That's what God is for. That's what God is doing for you. You're not meant to try and take control of the steering wheel when you don't even know the journey. You don't have a sat nav. You know where you want to go, but you don't have a sat nav and you've never been there before and you're trying to drive. Like, bitch, what are you trying to do? Just let God go into the driving seat and do his thing. You don't have to be Miss Figure It Out, Mr. Figure It Out all the time. Chill the fuck out. Everything will fall into place. Like I was saying about that immense peace, I'm not joking. There is peace in knowing that you are okay and you'll do well wherever you're at, whatever you're doing at any moment in time, as long as you have that gut feeling that I'm doing what's right, like you're good. I sound so nasally because I was crying earlier. I hate this. It's ruining my podcast episode of like my voice being janky. Let me just take some water. But yeah, guys, and that is all for this episode of Not So Clueless, the podcast brought to you by Ray on perfectionism. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the episode. Let me know if you have different perspectives. I'd love to hear what you think about perfectionism, where you are currently with perfectionism, how you're handling it, any tips and tricks you have for other people who are on this journey too, to dismantling perfectionism. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.